A day ahead of the Union Budget 2025-2026, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Friday tabled the Economic Survey 24-25 in the Lok Sabha, and ahead of the budget, the Prime Minister saluted Ma Lakshmi and sought blessings for the poor and middle class. Was that a big hint that was dropped by the Honourable Prime Minister? Meanwhile, the chief highlights of the Economic Survey included that the government must get out of business regulation, government should stop micromanaging economic activity, warns of AI outpacing humans in critical decisions, focus on systematic deregulation for growth, and embracing risk-based regulation. These were some of the other highlights, including the fact that a large number of our workforce currently seems or feels overworked and mentally stressed. So mental wellness is another aspect that's being highlighted, and that story you can find on News18.com. Meanwhile, let's listen in to what Prime Minister Narendra Modi had to say.
आज बजट सत्र के प्रारंभ में मैं समृद्धि की देवी मां लक्ष्मी को प्रणाम करता हूं। मां लक्ष्मी हमें सिद्धि और विवेक देती है, समृद्धि और कल्याण भी देती है। मैं मां लक्ष्मी से प्रार्थना करता हूं कि देश के हर गरीब एवं मध्यम वर्ग समुदाय पर मां लक्ष्मी की विशेष कृपा रहे।
Gopal Agarwal is with us, and we'll also have Tehseen Poonawala joining us back again in just a bit. Namaste, Jai Hind. Gopal Agarwal ji, माँ लक्ष्मी की कृपा तो रहेगी, पर सरकार की कृपा होगी कि नहीं? मिडिल क्लास का ये कहना है, the middle class believes that for the last 10 years the middle class been ignored. गरीब को मिलता है, अमीर यानी वेल्थ क्रिएटर्स को कुछ मिल जाता है, पर ये जो मिडिल क्लास है उसको क्या दिया जाएगा?
देखिए, अगर आप प्रधानमंत्री जी का कल का जो ओपनिंग रिमार्क पार्लियामेंट सेशन में देखेंगे तो उन्होंने बहुत स्पष्ट रूप से कहा है कि ये बजट एक अपने आप में एक बड़ा रिफॉर्म के साथ देश की अर्थव्यवस्था के लिए मजबूत फाउंडेशन।
See, he said reform, perform, transform. So what's going to reform?
He also said it will leave a foundation for the economic growth of the country in the next coming years. जो विकसित भारत का आधारभूत रखने के लिए एक महत्वपूर्ण जो बेसिक इंग्रेडिएंट्स है उसको we will be bringing, as the Prime Minister has said. And he also said that it will look into MSME and then look into issues of the middle class, everything. He has given a clear-cut indication.
But you see, you are an economist yourself, so I can ask you this question, that for us to be a Viksit Bharat by 2047, we need to head towards double-digit growth, inch closer to 9-10%, and somewhere we have to grow at 11% in the coming years. 6% growth is that steady. How does that make us a powerful economy? We may be growing with respect to GDP, but is there more money in the hands of an average Bharatiya? Also, the economic survey also indicates to some aspects of the workforce that is feeling stressed, a workforce that is losing critical, work hours to mental stress.
Sure, the issue is that it doesn't mean that if we are committed to grow and become a Viksit Bharat by 2047, we have already achieved that. It only says that we have to do a lot. And collective will transform, perform, reform, perform and transform. That is the three mantra that is required. It is not that we have accomplished that we have become Viksit Bharat. That means that shows that there is a gap and we are ready to fill that gap with economic reforms. And it is the pace that is required will come through economic reforms, Anandji. It is if the government, all the low hanging fruits on the economic front are not there. We have to do lot of reforms, and ultimately if you look into economic survey today, there is a huge increase in capital capex by private sector also has increased, by the state and center also increased, the PSU has also increased. So infrastructure development, working for creating new avenues like artificial intelligence, technology driven green energy, all these will multiply the growth potential. Ultimately, even the global
Right.
scenarios also impact. So we have to look into 360 degrees. What is the potential? How to realize? And is the government committed to do its bit to realize that potential? And we are committed. That the Prime Minister, Economic Survey, and Finance Minister have committed that we are committed to the growth and making India economic power. And it is not that only we'll do in 2047. It is a continuous roadmap, and that we are.
See, obviously,
doing.
you've
And
got to climb steps to reach the peak. I agree. But this is what, it's the story is there up on news18.com. Gopalji, you can read it, almost dismissing the remarks on a 70 to 90 hour work week by some noted industrialists and business leaders. The economic survey has said while the hours spent at work are informally considered a measure of productivity, a previous study has documented adverse health effects when hours exceed 55 to 60 hours a week. Spending long hours at one's desk is equally detrimental to mental well-being. Individuals who spend 12 or more hours at a desk have distressed and struggling levels of mental well-being, with a mental well-being score approximately 100 points lower than those who spend less than or equal to 2 hours at a desk, according to the survey. So mental health is also an economic issue because it affects our direct productivity and an output. See, we are at the cusp. This is the bus. If we miss this bus, then we've lost it. That's one part. We've got to also play catch up to other nations. So we've got to work harder, we've got to work longer, and we've also got to work smarter. But more importantly, we need to have money to consume. There seems to be a slowdown all around in terms of uptake, rural distress in terms of, or rural slowdown in terms of consumption. Many brands, many corporates are facing this. So clearly somewhere, and the middle class feels you're taxing me for everything. You are taking money from me and you are giving something free to the poor. You are giving something to the rich. You are giving them corporate tax off, etc. PLI schemes are being introduced. You are giving them tax waivers or moratoriums. What am I getting? Why am I paying 40 to 50% tax if I'm earning significantly up, if I'm earning 50 lakhs or more? Why am I paying 30% tax if I'm earning 25 lakhs or more? Whereas every other person is not earning, every self-employed professional is not filing that kind of, paying that kind of tax. The Kisan, the rich Kisans, the rich landlords are not paying that kind of money. Why only me? There is a distress, there is a certain anger, and says in the last 10 years, 11 years, what have you done for me?
Anandji, I agree that you are echoing the sentiment
Coming
of
to
the
this,
middle class. Yeah, you are echoing sentiment of the strong sentiment of the middle class who are taxpayer, but you have to also look into that. You are talking only about direct tax. Though I agree that middle class and the people who are paying tax, direct tax, they need some kind of relief, and our government is committed. They have said that surely Prime Minister has given a hint that it will have some relief on this particular aspect, and everybody, there is a consensus on this. But I do not agree with your first part that only they are paying the tax, because indirect tax is paid by everyone. Even a small girl child buying a pencil, she is paying indirect tax. So in that category also, we have tried to adjust according to the essential items and the other time. See, taxation is the whole taxation ecosystem has multiple aspects: indirect tax, direct tax, then controlling leakages.
My point is, sir, if everybody is paying indirect taxes, then
no,
everybody with a certain amount of income should pay taxes, direct taxes also. Why charge only one segment of society direct taxes while let the others go? That's from a middle class point of view. From a growth point of view, sir.
We have, over the last several years, we have tried to increase the standard deduction. We have brought down the corporate and even individual taxes to the new tax regime. Almost 9.5 lakh of annual income, you don't pay taxes. And we have tried to bring efficiency in the government delivery mechanism. So I am telling you, it is the whole economy depends upon 4 important aspects on the taxation ecosystem. Improve government efficiency in delivery, plug the leakages in the collection system. We have used technology in GST and virtual assessment, e-assessment, everything, and the audit trail that is being established. So efficiency there also. Then indirect tax, we have reduced indirect tax, which was at time before 2016 was in the range of 25 to 30%, and around 13 to 16 indirect taxes were levied. So they have been brought down to
Right.
single GST tax, and the average rate as per RBI was 11.6%. So even on the essential item it is 0 and 5%. So indirect tax relief is being extended, deduction has been increased, tax slabs have been reduced, and the
So you are saying that slowly but gradually, it's not
but
the relief
I
has not
still-
been extended?
No, I'm not finished. Just give me 10 more seconds. And I'm saying that I agree that
Anand,
has
there's no
been
point.
more
I
relief.
mean, it's a
Coming to this.
20-minute debate.
There is more
come to
relief
this.
there is more relief required for the middle class, those who comply direct taxes, and government is
Right.
contemplating surely, and Prime Minister has hinted that, and the survey also.
Well, hints are different, hopes are different. If it is let
No,
down, markets
he
respond.
also said no.
Gopalji, you have to yield. Markets responded positively. There was a 700% bump up soon after the eco survey. Tehseen Poonawala, this is your time now. Nobody will interrupt you.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you, Anand. Really appreciate this. Look, whichever side of the fence we are, we all want Team India to win. And like you said, this is our time under the sun right now. So this is our decade. I firmly believe, Anand, in my opening remarks, that this government, the present BJP government, has been the most left government ever in the history of India in the last 30 years. It's been terribly left economically, not socially, economically. What we desperately need is tax reforms and end to tax terrorism. Anand, you'll be surprised to know, and I'm speaking a little fast because we're short of time, you'll be surprised to know India is the highest exporter of millionaires in dollar terms out of our country, and HNIs, and of course that leads to the brain drain. What we desperately need, and this of course the BJP has a majority in the GST Council with the central government out there, GST reforms. GST extortion is a serious problem. It is not one country, one tax, it is one country, multiple tax slabs, and this was not how GST was envisaged. My proposal is GST should have two slabs. 5% for roti, kapda, makan, 12% for everything else, 0% for essentials, but the 0% for essentials must not have a tax GST on the goods required to build the essentials. For example, the BJP spokesperson Gopalji said we have a 5% tax for essentials, but for restaurants that have 5% tax, you don't give them an input credit. But everything that a restaurant buys or the property it leases out, it has 18% GST. So that's actually loss making. We cannot grow at 9% unless our service industry does not grow. The second very important point is our lack of focus on AI and policy on AI and quantum computers. Anand, I will end here. We don't have an AI fintech policy, as a result of which every AI fintech in India has been registered in Dubai. Every single one. There isn't one in India that's an AI fintech that is being registered. And that is a massive problem because the future of AI is already here. It's in the past tense and we don't have a policy. We don't know whether crypto is legal or illegal. We don't know whether blockchain is illegal or illegal. We don't know how we're going to deal with blockchains. And that is a perennial problem, because without this, the new generation of the economy and Web 3.0 will not prosper, and we won't get people out of poverty. Last but not the least, we need to increase the direct tax net. 3.8% of Indians pay direct tax. A building in Gurgaon sold out in minutes. A building in Mumbai sold out in minutes, 100 crore flats, but only 3.8% in India pay direct tax. That tax net has to go up. It cannot be the middle class shouldering that responsibility.
But and 3.8% is a poor representation of Bharat's economical might. So if we have not been able to bring everybody on the tax net and then reduce, you look at the volume and then reduce the value, you charge 20% tax, but bring everybody, whoever is earning 10 lakhs or more, under the tax net. Now that is something that the government can do, but does it have the political will to do something? Because that's where it's going to be the big step towards a Viksit Bharat. There are many views, there are many points of views. We will perhaps debate it threadbare and at length further through budget day and beyond. Have to truncate this because we got a big development coming in from Bangladesh, big news.